but we can start. So, hello everyone. Welcome to this session on um, digitalization ecosystem, digital innovation, AI, and entrepreneurship. Our first speaker will be Marco Brunhose. Hello, Professor Marco. If you can introduce yourself.
So, can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Uh, so, can I share the screen?
Yes, you should be able to share.
Okay. So, is it sharing something?
Yes.
Okay. Is it happening something?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
Very good. Okay. So we are progressing. So, can I start?
Yes, feel free.
Okay. So, good afternoon, everybody. It's 4 o'clock in Finland, and it's a great pleasure to be here with you and to meet so many intelligent people on these 2 days and to learn so much. And I really appreciate the invitation of Dr. Anna D. Al-Mubaraki and of course, dear Fernando, uh, to be here and to the participants as well, and of you that you are leading the conference now. Okay, so what I will be talking about is about the Finland as a VIP as part of the world digital ecosystem. And a bit things about myself. I don't want to bore you with the information about me, but between advisor, investor, and oops, uh, and the teacher in the university, lecture on the areas of finance and internationalization. So that is my comforted zone. And with that in mind, I will explore this area uh, uh, of oops of Finland as VIP as part of the world of the digital ecosystem. So, and I will navigate with the 3 areas that they are of our panel. And the areas are, my apologies, the areas are of digital innovation, DNNs. I refuse to use the word, the expression AI, because I don't like to insult my intelligence. So I use DNN. And I use the not entrepreneurship or technoship, I use teamness. And then I will go to the end, welcoming you to Finland. So these two notes that they are related with um, what I just said is one of them is AI is just another form of automatic integration. The universe has got several of them, and this is just a new one. So I find it more appropriate to call it deep neural network. And of course, in the two extremes, Ralph Nader, a person that I admire very much, he calls it arrogant ignorance. And this paper that is among the academic world on the dangers of stochastic parrots. Can language models be too big? So this is very clear. You just enjoy the stochastic parrots and then move forward. Then the Timners I talk about, and then now about the VIP. What is this VIP? So here in Finland, we have a collection of very much very inspiring persons, and because we are so many, then we create this a VIP place. So that is the reason why I call it Finland VIP. So these are pictures of mine in the winter and in the spring, so you can observe how beautiful is this, and you are welcome. And here we have Finland and Qatar, the center of the universe today at this hour, these last 2 days. Just Qatar yesterday and today, and now Finland. And in terms of the infrastructure, Finland, the GDP is around half of Kuwait is around half of Finland. The population is more or less the same, and both of them, they have strong constraints in terms of defense. Then Finland is a data center exporter. Kuwait is a domestic consumer. So that's why we have this huge difference of data center installed capacity. And then in terms of sharing the data, both of countries, they have similar, according to the international trend as well. Submarine fiber cables 95% and satellites 5%. But in terms of infrastructure, even though Finland is very well served, and especially now with the Arctic moving on in terms of being more easy to navigate, we are having the secret of Finland is very much the intersubjectivity architecture, so the strong trust that we have among the residents, and then this understanding of the epistemological environment. So we don't go very much by trends like this DNM now. We are very much on the reasoning and moving forward. And in terms of organized wisdom, what I find that is very interesting here in Finland is exactly the public sector. So the public sector is in the way a situation that is a continuous learning sector, which incorporate all the good that the society brings to the table, so it's always improving, and the rest of the world. And now we go for the digital innovation in Finland, and we see how successful we are here. So last year I present Ostaway as a success story here in this conference. And this year, a few weeks ago, they were becoming another unicorn. And this is happening naturally. Foreigners came here, they mingled with the locals, and then they make this type of achievements. And then the next unicorn might come from the aerospace cluster in Finland. And this picture is this image is taken from a conference that I was giving a talk some months ago here, and where in the region where I live, Kymenlaakso, we are having in Puteh, we are having one of the promising areas for this aerospace industry. So, by the way, the PDF will be available in the email, or if you join me in LinkedIn, you just ask it and then I will send the PDF. And then the PDF has got a system that I don't put the sources there. You just click the image and then you go straight to the source. Then another thing that I find it interesting about this AI thing is that Douglas Engelberg was one of the persons that came up with this AI thing, but he called it augmented our intelligence. And because we are running out of time, so we move forward to what happened in 1968. In 1968, we were having Douglas Eggenbart was already showing to the world in the the mother of all demos, as was called, that he was presenting the computer mouse, the hypertext, the video conference, and collaborative work in real time, and much more. You see, so this quite many years before the things that amazing us, and 41 years before we published the book Team Nurse. That's why I prefer team nurseship than the traditional entrepreneur and so on. And this book has got a chapter that the last chapter, clearinghouse model, that I present there, something that is much more interesting than Bitcoin and useful, and it became law in Portugal in 2019. Then why Finland they have so much success? I think that it's got to do something with the language, their language. I am not Finnish, I am Angolan, just enjoying the paradise for quite many years. When I met my goddess and I got married here, we are still on honeymoon. And here the Finno-Ugric language, they must have some additional kick in terms of IQ. So that's why Jan van Neumann was one of the parents of the computer, and Lino Torvald. Both of them belong to this Finno-Ugric language, and they know that failure is part of life. So they even have in October every year they celebrate the failure normalization. It all starts with the student in the university, Aalto University, and now it's a standard. And then this year again, I made a conference where I was highlighting the importance of the flops, the failures, and the success. So, and then I mentioned there the traditional and very important Zamblanity and serendipity as a tools, and Tom Peters, test fast, fail fast, adjust fast. And one example of the teamnership here in Finland is, for instance, this lady. She's recently 21 years old, graduates next month, and is already clients in Portugal, in cloud computer, in Finland, physical intelligence, and in Greece, and digital nomad. So this is the type of things that this country produced to the world. Then another innovation that is quite unique in Finland is the virtual power plant, where you can have the example of the three telecom operators to organize a system to handle energy, like we saw in the previous panel. That was fantastic, the presentation of the speakers, and gives us inspiration for the future ahead. So, my friends, you are welcome. Finland is very beautiful in the winter, as you can see, and is very beautiful in the summer. Just send me an email and then I will send you the PDF, or then connect me in LinkedIn, and then we talk more. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Marco Brunhose. I'd like to open the panel to any questions before we move on. Does anyone have any questions?
Participants become speechless.
Yes, Abdullah. You're muted.
Yes, thank you very much for the presentation. It was actually enticing, and it was on my bucket list and still in my bucket list to go to Finland. And it's very interesting to see that, most of the technologies and innovations came out of Finland. And obviously, everyone knows here, at least in Kuwait, that when we talk about Finland, we talk about Nokia. So this is something that stayed with us, especially in my generation, because we lived with Nokia, we lived with the innovation that they came up with every year. Unfortunately, what happened at the end is not something that we wanted to see, but I'm glad that I still have a router that is Nokia brand. So I'm sure now that they're getting very strong in the 5G and the 6G in the future when it comes to innovation. So do you think that this is something where Finland heavily invests in terms of financially and through institutions or universities, and how would that continue within the near future?
My opinion is that they are very, very serious on contributing for a better world. And so they have the public sector that is extremely well organized on and receptive to the stimuli and the initiatives of the private sector. So they have instruments on equity, they have instruments on debt, they have instruments on mezzanine, they have instruments on grant, that as long they are good ideas around the world, just come here. This is the fertile soil, and you and your family, you are very welcome here. Let me know, and then we have space here. You can stay with us.
Oh, thank you very much for this. This is very generous of you. And I'll definitely make sure to contact you, hopefully for maybe a nice cup of coffee or something traditional when it comes to Finland. To be honest, I'm eager for that. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and then just if you come with time, then we can even organize some conference with you in the university, and that would be fantastic.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you very much. I really appreciate this invitation. Thank you very much again for it.
And I also had a quick question. I think you mentioned that what's important for digitalization is, if I understand correctly, societal trust, reasoning or rationality, and a well-developed public sector. Is that are these sort of the three main pillars for a well-developed, digital environment, entrepreneurship in the digital space?
Yeah, so the idea is go like this. 315,000 years ago, it seems that we show up in Morocco. Tomorrow, some scientists find some teeth in Australia, and then we show up in Australia. We start in Australia. But the point is that our relations, we start there. We are all a big family of 80 billion persons. Some more clear, some whiter, some bigger, some smaller, some fatter, but we are just one family, whatever we like it or not. We just have to love each other and to be friends to each other and move forward, because we are having a real serious problem here. And the idea is that on the moment that we split the relation one to one, we create these barriers, the technology, you see, then we start to get away, and we stop this relation, the family relation, that we belong together, you see. And then it's what happened in Finland is that even though we have all of these digital barriers, physical barriers, and all of this, whenever you are approaching the public sector, the private sector, a listed company, a cooperative, whatever, a person in the street, they react to you because they trust you. You see, so they don't have this idea, well, it's dangerous, I don't talk to him. No, the trust issue is there. And it happens because when I meet somebody, I immediately create the trust credit for him. And usually what I'm doing next is to increase the trust credit. You see, it's not reducing it. You see, so this is the way we have it. And this is so beautiful. You have to experience this, and this could be multiplied to the rest of the world, because the rest of the world, they are Homo sapiens like the guys here. You see, so there is no difference between us. Of course, that they are guys that they are extremely rich and great and all of this. Those ones even they want to go to live in Mars, they should go and stay there. But for the rest of us, we enjoy it here.
Thank you so much. I also had one other question, but I also don't want us to relate. But just very quickly, on one of your slides, you mentioned that we want to make sure that the goals of the augmented humans are aligned with the non-augmented humans. Because I think that's something that you didn't mention. So I was just wondering, what do you mean by what is specifically an augmented human?
We are the same garbage that we were 315,000 years ago. You see, so it's the same thing. The only thing is that we got curious about what's going on. And then we find that, okay, we have legs, we can go far away, but somewhere, sometime, even in the Middle East, you had batteries already 2,000 years ago. You see, but the point is that you didn't have the market, you didn't have the use for it. You see, so the point is that we can have these possibilities with the technology of augmenting our inner possibilities. We can see stars, the telescopes. We can see quants with the microscopes. We can see. So this thing of the DNN, the deep neural networks, is something that comes from us. Without us, the thing doesn't have existence per se, because it is depending on us. So instead of creating a new God, because we are specialists on creating gods, you see. So in 1844, we create the God that is money. You see, do you remember Karl Marx? The phrase when he writes I am not great fan of Karl Marx on the economic part because he's a total disaster, but in the philosophical part he is real fun to read. So then when he comes there, he takes this quotation of the Bible, because he was Jew, of the first command. So Moses is coming down from the Sinai, and then he say, well, I am Jehovah your God, you cannot have your any other gods besides me, ta, 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 ta. Then he goes there to that phrase, and then he used the word that he had, find and replace Jehovah by money. So now we are having, I am money, your God, you cannot have any other God besides me. You see, and then we are about to do the find and replace again. Go there, replace money by artificial stupidity, or the way they want to call it. You see, so DNN. And then we have to know that we control these things, you see. So these things exist to make our lives better, you see. So that is the thing. We are having real challenge in terms of global warming, and the last thing that we need to is to have systems that contribute to increase the global warming. And I was very pleased with Paul when he was saying that, well, I should have the Nobel Prize on common sense. Lovely. This is the thing that is typical Finn.
I see. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, our next speaker is Abdullah Kamal. Abdullah, the floor is yours. Marco, if you can stop sharing.
Yeah. Yes, I will do so. Let me see how can I do the same. Oops. Yes. Did it work?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Abdullah.
Okay, great. So could everyone see my presentation now?
Yes.
Okay, great. So what I'm going to talk about, and I'm actually going to zoom out a little bit from where Dr. Marco was talking about and just give a small perception of what has happened since last time that we've met and what is going on currently here in Kuwait, just to give a better perception of Kuwait and the digitalization ecosystem in Kuwait. So thank you very much, everyone, for being here. Thank you, Dr. Hanadin Mbarki, for preparing this and putting everything together. I know this is an immense effort. So I would like to delve directly into, the presentation just to give everyone a perception of what has been happening and what will happen next, and what kind of technologies are now seeing the light and coming into, the GCC, if I want to talk about specifically, and all across the globe, especially with now I'm afraid to call it AI because it was just nullified by by Marco. So, but I'm gonna use it not very freely. It's actually very enlightening to know that it is something we all experience. So this is something that you have to bear in mind with me that because we use it now every day. I totally agree with you, Dr. Marco, that it is being used used as a system that is arrogantly wrong. Okay. So this is something that we always have to watch out, always need to focus on, even though people think that with such technologies, with such advancements in technologies, things will become easier, lives will become easier. However, it's a double-edged sword because it could make your life hell if you don't know what is being presented. So this is very simply put, and we have to really watch out for what we talk about when we talk about, artificial intelligence, large language models, machine learning per se, because at the end, this is controlled by us. So we have to have the right controls. We have to have the right governance. We have to have the right way of thinking. And especially that in a region like the Gulf region, we still don't have, let's say, a native language model, a large language model that we can say we have tested this model, we are relying on this model as factual information. It's not biased. It is not, going into the discussions of religion, ethnicity, race, etc. So these are always in the back of our heads. However, when it comes to Kuwait, we did our vision way back in 2010. So there was no intelligence, there was no artificial intelligence, and it was all based on factual data, what is happening, the current situation, historical data, and how can we utilize such information to move forward. So how is Kuwait looking at it right now? Well, Kuwait's Vision 2035 positions digitalization as the engine for economic diversification, which is one of the main pillars for the vision, and for job creation, global competitiveness. And since global competitiveness now is becoming very tough, And people who hold certain aspects like the chips that generate the knowledge or generate the calculations will definitely win the race. Someone else says, well, whoever has the highest GDP are already set and they shouldn't be worrying. That's all wrong. That is all what we perceive, but not what is on the ground and as reality. So we need to make sure that when we use it, we make sure that we're using it catering to our requests and our internal and localized needs with limitations. Okay, and I say this with a very double red lines because without limitations, you will quickly lose control. So what did Kuwait mandate or the state mandated that AI, cloud, and e-services across public and private sector will be implemented, and we're not just going to let it go through, but we will assign certain entities, which is Kate, Citra, and the National Cybersecurity Center, all newly established. Kate is the Central Agency for Information Technology. Citra is also the agency responsible for transportation and communications. And obviously, the main player here, which is very newly formed, is the National Cybersecurity Center. We've seen how things could go quickly wrong because of the wrong use of technology or the wrong use of certain tools that could affect populations. We're not talking about personal effect where it might affect me or might affect someone in my family, but it will affect populations and their perception. So this is something that we really need to watch out for. And this definitely, when done right, and why I do not say that it is done in the correct way, is that because it's never one way or the other. It's what is adapting to your current situation, your localized needs, and how were you able to extrapolate the data and information you request to give you the right results, the factual results. Okay? So when we talk about the national AI strategy and something that Kuwait has been working on, because we have been lagging in many aspects, and as Dr. Marco rightfully said, we are a consumer here in Kuwait. So we consume the technologies that are coming out, and this is where we want to leverage on consumption to move into more production or supplementation, as we say. And in my last contribution and this conference, I've mentioned Google Cloud, and we were very happy that, we are the entity Nest and the subsidiaries of Entech, which is the company owned by the Kuwait Investment Authority, is actually the partner with Google. So we are handling Google as a semi-government entity rather than letting it run around Kuwait and try to build and scale out without having any jurisdiction, without having any protocols or guidelines or guide rails even. So this is where we moved into channeling almost more than 800 million US dollars through the KOC budget, utilizing Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud partnerships to assist in predictive maintenance, assist us in fraud detection. And one good example where Kuwait has excelled when it comes to digitizing and digitalization is Sahel. If you have ever been in Kuwait, worked in Kuwait, wanted to finish anything, pay fines, you definitely worked with Sahel because Sahel is the main application that you could do almost 300 government tasks geared toward the citizens without even ever showing up to a government entity. So it's all done online, it's simplified, it's made easy, and this is a good example where technology, when utilized properly, could definitely support you in that process. So now over 72% of enterprises run at least one AI or large language model or machine learning modality in one way or another. And this has supported many, and I can talk on behalf of at least the National Technologies Enterprise Company, where the service cost has been down by 40%, just because we've adopted certain technologies like Copilot utilized Odoo, for example, for projects that also analyzes data and gives us better outcomes. And this basically what it does is it boosts satisfaction. So with Sahel, 70% satisfaction has been achieved when we were one of the lagging nations when it came to customer satisfaction with government services. And this is not something that is hidden. It's out there. People talk about it. So this alone by itself is a very good start, or let's say push moving forward. So what are the current innovations we're basically using? It's, having the bilingual LLMs being used in banks, telecoms, resolving queries and whatnot. This had helped a lot of companies here in Kuwait that I've been working with personally as, managing projects in these entities to boost the morale, to upsell in some of the services. And obviously, as I mentioned before, utilizing predictive AI or predictive services where a large language models will be analyzing data and giving me what would be done to enhance inventory control, to better the services for the community and the customers of government agencies and even the private sector. Okay. When we talk about AI, a lot of people forget that there is another aspect that we really need to focus on, which is ethical AI or multimodal AI. And this is where things get interesting because this is where people move from becoming creative to just pure lazy. Okay. So this is a big problem. I see Dr. Marco is happy because of that. Yes, indeed. It does make people become lazy. People think that they can rely on, AI interpreting a certain video or speech or, just typing something and letting AI produce videos. But there is that loss of emotions that are portrayed in these videos. Sometimes even when you analyze videos, it's not going to be the exact same thing or not even close to becoming realistic when it comes to interpreting emotions. And this is a very critical aspect because what keeps humans together and what keeps humans interconnected is emotions. So emotions is a very important aspect. And then AI with ethical issues, this is where we really need to focus on. I've mentioned that it reduced compliance risk by 40%. It also improves employee retention. Yes, but at the same time, people tend to lose their sense of being with what is wrong and what is right. And this is because they are getting information that is sounding ethical, sounding factual, but in reality, they are non-existent. So this is something we really need to watch out for. And I really want to mention, yes, there are the better things that we can do, but don't forget or don't over rely on such technologies because we tend to. We are now experiencing it on a retail basis where AI is also being used in daily tasks. And we can see that within the last 2 years, people are heavily relying. I see my employees, for example, sending me near perfect emails when I know that they could not even write two sentences without having the mistakes that are more humane, to be honest. I miss these mistakes. And why do I miss them? It's because I know that the person has put in the effort to write that email, to do a certain task, to actually go through the process, because this process is a learning curve. And now, you're using less and less brain cells. So what does that mean? That means that the learning curve, instead of going this way, is actually going downwards. Because now I know less. I can just teach the AI and let it know what I should be knowing. And, this is the result. Would I get good results? Yes, I will get, improvements in certain aspects. However, what about the human aspect? Am I getting any improvements? I kind of doubt it. I will not neglect it, but I will doubt it because I'm not the right person. I didn't study it. But once I do, I'll give you the results, maybe inshallah within the next year. It will be something that I will be presenting here to talk about it. Now, when we talk also about digital entrepreneurship, and this is something that I'm happy about, that this is something where Kuwait has been a pioneer when it came to taking digital entrepreneurship into the forefronts of its objectives. So, how could this help? How could this new technology help? Well, one example is low-code platforms, where vibe coding now is a big thing. So a lot of people could use that to actually build, their applications, build their ideas from scratch without needing the technical people required to test an idea. Now you would need them at a later stage. However, moving from idea to product became much shorter than it used to be. And coming from doing an MBA at a very highly regarded university, especially in entrepreneurship, we took a couple of courses to do that. But now looking at this and the time horizon that we have reached such a milestone where time has been squeezed into less than a week or two, it showcases that, yes, cutting delivery time down, having the right fund here in Kuwait with more than, the 200 million tech fund that has been created through the SME fund. We saw a good example. The Delivery Hero 1 million, the Carriage exit that happened. There's a company called Carriage where they deliver food, and it had an immense success where it was bought by Delivery Hero, the German company. So this is something where it's bringing Kuwait and scaling Kuwait to be one of the big players in the global domain. So is it this good? Yes, it is good. Do we have to over rely on it? No, because it should be the building blocks and not the deciding factor when we come to talk about SMEs. Now,
Sorry,
what kind of technologies? I
sorry to
just want
interrupt. Just one more minute.
Yes, I'm just gonna now mention some of the technologies and that's it. I think we should be done. How are some of these technologies helping this ecosystem and the SME ecosystem? Well, one of the things is that Nest is a company where it invests into companies and IT companies or tech companies that are up and coming. And one such investment where we have invested and we're bringing them to the market and we've experienced immense success is Eon Reality, where we've brought in Eon Reality, and now they're helping us through an Eon Entrepreneur Guide through a 10-step platform. Imagine within 10 steps, you can mention your problem, passions, and it will take you through these 10 steps, leading you to an actual application or a website to kick off or kickstart your project. Is this success? It's immense success. And that is why we want to have a guide. We want to have such technologies as a guiding principle, but not as a deciding factor. So this is what I always want to focus on. Again, Career Compass is another application that we are using through Eon Reality, and it takes people from leaving college, all the way to the job market. Again, with the same process, making sure that they can go at a faster pace into knowing exactly where they should be working, which is all helping us achieve, the Vision 2035, where human prosperity is also another big aspect when it comes to talking about technology and how we can enhance the human capital here in Kuwait. So these are some of the comprehensive programs that will, inshallah, ensure Kuwaiti can operate, audit, and innovate in AI systems. And we are focusing on these companies and helping these companies to achieve their desired outcomes through our efforts here at the NTech and Nest to make sure that such technologies are guided, are always protected, and made sure that they are conforming to Kuwait standards, localized, and safe to use by everyone. Next steps, as I said, we're focusing on having strategic partnerships and maybe with Dr. Marco from Finland with new technologies, where we can push forward with new technologies that are guided, that are secure, that are focused on the human aspect of that equation and not on how to scale and enhance and explode in growth without having an idea of what kind of growth is being achieved. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the time. Sorry, I've went over the time, but it is a lot to mention, and I wanted to build always on, Dr. Marco's points, which were very enticing for me, and I think that we are aligning in such aspects. So thank you very much, Professor Peter, for the time.
Thank you, Abdul. Appreciate it. I'll just, if anyone has, I'll allow one single question at this point. We can go back after Professor Eiji Nagasawa's presentation if we have time. Anyone have a question? Okay, so I just want to quickly mention for 30 seconds that it just seems um,
Oh,
I'm
Dr.
not
Marco,
sure.
Dr. Marco, you have a question?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Can I do the question?
Yes.
Okay. Congratulations for the presentation. Absolutely great. I love it. I see quite many synergies between what you are doing there in Kuwait and the Nordic community here, and in general, and in Finland in particular. You are touching areas that I see the most difficult thing is that you don't cooperate. You see, the most difficult thing is that you don't cooperate. So I suggest that somewhere next week we could organize a video call, and then we could go a bit further. And then on the meantime, if you could send me your PDF, so then I would study
Absolutely.
it. Then I would be honored to introduce you to key decision makers here in Finland. You see those ones that have good blue eyes and they are blonde, not like me that I was born in Angola, but they would be very, very pleased to talk to you and to go deeper in the subject, because you are touching the areas that I know that they are touching as well.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you very much. This is something I will definitely follow up with, and we could definitely stay in touch to build more on that. And with many other counterparts, I don't want to just focus on that aspect, but whoever is willing, we are here to cooperate. We are here to share our information. And thank you very much for initiating it, Dr. Marco. This is something that we always work on here at both levels, NTech and NTech, which is the National Technologies Enterprise Company, and also at the KIA level, which is the Kuwait Investment Authority, the Kuwaiti Sovereign Wealth Fund. So we definitely will find common grounds of interaction.
Just to conclude, this is the situation that in Finland we have Slash, which is very known, and Arctic 15.
Yeah.
And then my father is Portuguese, and in Portugal we have Web Summit as well. So I can link you
Wow.
to the Portuguese ecosystem as well.
That's
Thank
amazing.
you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, so our next speaker is Professor Eiji Nagasawa, and I'm also chairing the next session. I don't see any of our speakers yet, so if we go over a few minutes, that will be okay. I just want to make sure that Professor Nagasawa is going to have time because we went a little bit over. So don't worry, Professor, you can go about 15 minutes.
I'm searching my PowerPoint. Just a moment.
Sure, no problem.
Oh, it's so not this one. Just a moment. Shut up. Mm. Click on this one. iPhone. Fine, so sorry. You can hear it?
Yeah, we
You
can
can
see
see
it.
it? Okay. I'm sorry. So this is, can I start?
Yes.
Ah, so thank you very much for moderator and also Dr. Hanadi who invited me this important international conference. And I'm sure my topic is not directly related to the digitalization or digital ecosystem, but just I mentioned I would is told to explain some the activity of JSPS, Japan Society for Promotion of Science. I retired the university 6 years ago and started working the JSPS station in Cairo. So today I was asked by Dr. Hanadi to explain the activity of this activity, which might be helpful to the technical scientific development of the digitalizations. I'm sorry, I'm not a scientist. I'm a historian. My specialty is modern Egyptian history, but I want to. But this time I uh, try to explain the. Uh, that's, my title is JSP and is programs. So the contents of my presentation. First, I will introduce the space and history, and I want to focus on the scientific and science and technology policy in Japan, and our activities. So this piece is the abbreviation of Japan Society for Promotion of Science, established in 1932. Japan is one of the major co-funding research funding agencies. We support each scientist by bottom up system. So the society was established by the proposal of leading scholars in imperial academies, and this proposal was approved by the business leaders and the army leader also. The important thing is the emperor, Showa Emperor Hirohito, gave the donation 1 million Japanese yen at the time, roughly 1 billion Japanese yen in 20 times. This is the basis of the financial basis of had been financial basis of the JSPS. Our symbol of the rooster, this one, is the symbol of it's taken from the emperor's so short poem. It is a meaning the opening the gate of the knowledge of the new world. So we are establishing a network among the researchers in academia, industry, and government, and promoted collaborative research across sector for first time in Japan. So we also started from 1939, launching the grant aiding scientific research fellowship for young researchers and both senior researchers. But after the war, so the main three Japanese academic institutions were reformed by the occupied armies. Imperial Academy changed to the Japan Academy. National Research Council changed to Science Council of Japan. Also, Japan Society for Promotion Science stopped the Japan subsidies, but it regained the subsidy after 3 years. So we must mention about another major important institution, JST, Japan Science and Technology Agency, formed in 1996. And then it is after the merger of Ministry of Education and Science and Technology, JSPs, our organization JST came under the jurisdiction of the new Ministry of Education, Culture and Sports, Science Next. Another important institution, JICA, Japan International Cooperation Agency, maybe you know, it was officially established in 1974, but it gave us a many major also supported scientific activities. One of the major big research programs, SATREPS, Science and Technology and Research Partnership for Science Sustainable Development, this is very related to the theme of this conference. This is joint international research program collaborated by JST and JICA, and now with two SATREPS programs ongoing in Egypt. Other two major research funding organization is the Japan Agency for Medical Research and Development under the Ministry of Health, Labour and Welfare, and the New Energy Industrial Technology Development. This is a map, general idea of science and technology policy system in Japan. Maybe it's not time to explain this form. So after the Second World War, the space expanded to serve support for foreign researchers. In 1965, we have first overseas liaison office in Tehran and Nairobi. Now Tehran's office changed to the Cairo now, and now includes 10 overseas centers. Also, we started foreign research fellow system since 1970s. Then I will explain this one later. Also, we have an intensive joint research program in various forms. And this is a map of the 10 JSpace overseas offices, including Cairo and Nairobi. And the Cairo office covers the Middle East and North Africa. We also have a JSpace Alumni Association network. Now, in Cairo, so the Egyptian Alumni Association is very active to give us program delivering the seminars for young researchers online. We have the bilateral cooperation program, JSPs, and the counterpart any funding agencies. Now we in Cairo, in Egypt, we have one it's funding agency, SADF. Of course, Kuwait or other any countries have us make a proposal to JSP's headquarters to agreement with bilateral cooperation. Also, we have the Quad-to-Quad program. These are three countries triangle of cooperation system. This station established in 1894, promoting the academic exchange, Japanese and researcher from the Middle East and North Africa. So we have a variety of fellowship system, grad program, postdoctoral fellowship, mid-career professor or invitation fellow program, and also it is a new system, pre-postdoctoral fellowship for Asian and African countries. We cover the North African countries. Also for meetings, this is the inviting the young scholars to meet the Nobel winners, so the high-ranking researchers. Also, we have bridge fellow system for the alumni members. Hope meeting with this Nobel laureates like that. Every spring we have such meetings. This is a number of the funding opportunities, and the number of the research exchange under the JES programs. So please visit our website or scan this our Cairo Center's website to contact us to develop the academic cooperation between Japan and your countries. Thank you very much. This is Facebook. Thank you very much. See you.
Thank you, Professor Nagasawa. Does anyone have any questions? Yes, Marco.
Professor, thank you very much for your enlightening presentation. And I am in conversations with a friend of mine that is advisor in one African country, and he recently asked me about research programs with funding associated in terms of PhDs.
Yeah.
Do you have among all that institutions that you have programs of such sorts for Africa?
So in Africa, we have two centers, Cairo and Nairobi. We cover the North African countries, and the Nairobi covers Sub-Saharan African countries.
Okay.
And from this year, we started the new program for the postdoctoral or pre-doctoral program for young researchers. Now, I'm sorry, the October is a timely deadline. So
Okay.
maybe anyway. So this is so the requirement we will require is a researcher to took the PhD within 6 years, or researcher for will take a PhD for after 2 years. So maybe so this is good opportunity for the African researchers from African countries, I think.
Thank you very much. I will pass the message and then I will put you in touch.
And please to visit our website. So this is more
definitely.
Very concrete information. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. So I'd like to thank Professor Marco Bunhosa and H. Nagasawa and Abdullah Kamal for your presentations in this session. So that concludes this session. And so now we're going to move on to our next session, which is building the bridge, fostering a thriving startup ecosystem. I can see that our first speaker, Carlos, is here. Just before that, Hamadi, just real quick, do you know if, I'm not sure if any of our other speakers might be here, but they're not listed as panelists.